Hello and welcome to this edition of Catholic Focus. My name is Kudamatambo. On Wednesday, 23 August, Zimbabwe will go to the polls to elect the president, members of parliament, and councillors. With all that, you may be asking yourself, as a Catholic, is there a proper guide to these political activities? Could one say there is something called a Catholic vote? Well, the answer lies in your interpretation, but in this edition, we want to remind you of a few pastoral letters about elections, about governance, about social issues that have been written by the bishops. Take courage. On 5 July, the Zimbabwe Catholic bishops released a pastoral letter calling all Zimbabweans to take courage and stand up. In this letter, the bishops said these elections are a landmark in our history and journey as Zimbabweans, so we need to partake in a shared exercise of choosing our leaders. The bishops are calling us to stand up and go out and exercise our right to vote. They say, take courage, stand up, and let your voices be heard through the ballot. In February 2023, the bishops released quite a strong call to the nation, breaking the unjust fetters, released at the beginning of the Lenten season. In this letter, the bishops invited us to reflect on where we've been and where we are as a society and individuals, and where we want to go. This should form our decisions as we go to the polls. The strong call in this letter is that we go to the elections, we must be clear on what we want. They describe the election as a sacred moment of synodality, and if you've been following, synodality is based on communion, participation, and mission. The march is not ended. This pastoral letter was released in August 2020 at the height of COVID-19 and the crisis related to the pandemic. This letter was largely misunderstood by many, but it gave birth to serious conversations, and in moments like this, it can help us provide a guide as we go to the election. And in this reflection, the bishops called everyone not to be stuck in the past, which is the reason for a multi-layered crisis of economic collapse, deepening poverty, food insecurity, and human rights abuses. And they said corruption is choking the economy. So as you go to the elections, think about these words and think about what it means to the type of leaders that you're going to elect. And you can also pass these messages to aspiring candidates so that they also reflect about the type of leaders they are going to be should they be elected. The March is Not Ended made reference to one of the key letters written in 2006, the Zimbabwe We Want. The Zimbabwe We Want Towards a National Vision for a Zimbabwe was published in 2006 by the Zimbabwe Catholic Bishops' Conference, the Evangelical Fellowship of Zimbabwe, and the Zimbabwe Council of Churches. In this pastoral letter, the bishops mentioned that we lack a shared national vision. There is a lot of political intolerance, oppressive law, and there is economic mismanagement. Again, corruption was among many other issues raised, but it does not only analyze the situation, it presented an opportunity to shape a new vision and values for Zimbabwe, for the Zimbabwe we want. And in short, the Zimbabwe we want is a sovereign and democratic nation characterized by good governance, a united, free, tolerant, peaceful, and prosperous nation that promotes justice, freedom, and participation, and subsidiarity. Honestly, there are a lot of guiding documents that can help us think about the kind of leadership and society we want post-23 August. In 2004, the bishops released a pastoral letter titled A Credible Electoral Process for Responsible and Accountable Leadership. In this letter, the bishops reminded us that elections are a technical process that aspires to be technically free and fair, and it must be based on moral integrity, and that alone makes freedom and fairness a reality. Critically, this pastoral letter reminds politicians and those active in campaigns to avoid three temptations. Temptations to use the politics of the stomach, using material things to woo people to vote for you. You must discard bribery and blackmail. Avoid the temptation to relinquish responsibility by acting selfishly yet hoping God will take care of his people. The third temptation is that of adopting evil means to acquire a perceiving and good end. Here you might also remember the end does not justify the means, a pastoral letter released in 2019 after the death of former President Robert Gabriel Mugabe. But we just wanted to remind you to take time to reflect on your choices, promote peace, foster justice, and exercise your right and responsibility. And above all, pray for our nation, pray for our leaders, and shun political violence. God bless Zimbabwe.